The evening rush hour train pulled away from the downtown station as Elena Martinez settled into her seat. Her 6-year-old son Lucas curled up beside her with his head in her lap. At 29, Elena worked 2 jobs to make ends meet as a single mother, and the exhaustion showed in every line of her face as she closed her eyes for what she hoped would be a few minutes of rest during the 40-minute ride home. Beside her sat a man in an expensive navy suit, his attention focused on documents spread across his briefcase. At 37, Marcus Davidson had built a technology company worth millions, but tonight he found himself more interested in the quiet dignity of the woman and child beside him than in the quarterly reports he was supposed to be reviewing. Elena had been fighting sleep for several stops when exhaustion finally won. Her head tilted sideways and came to rest on Marcus's shoulder, her blonde hair falling softly against his suit jacket. Lucas, still sleeping peacefully in her lap, shifted slightly but remained undisturbed. Marcus felt the gentle weight of Elena's head against his shoulder and made a decision that would surprise everyone who knew him. Instead of waking her or shifting away, he remained perfectly still, understanding instinctively that this was a woman who desperately needed whatever rest she could find. For the next 20 minutes, Marcus sat motionless, holding his documents at an awkward angle to avoid disturbing Elena's sleep. He watched the city lights blur past the window and found himself thinking about the last time someone had trusted him enough to fall asleep in his presence. It had been years, and he realized how much he had missed that simple human connection. Present. The train neared Elena's stop. Marcus gently touched her hand. "Ma'am, I believe this is your station coming up." Elena jerked awake with embarrassment, immediately realizing she had been sleeping on a stranger's shoulder. "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry," she said, her cheeks flushing red. "I cannot believe I fell asleep on you. You must think I am terrible." "Not at all," Marcus replied with a genuine smile. "You looked like you needed the rest. Are you feeling better?" Elena gathered Lucas, who was just beginning to wake up, and prepared to leave the train. "Thank you for being so kind. Most people would have pushed me away. Most people do not understand how hard it is to be a parent," Marcus said, helping her collect her belongings. "I hope you get some real rest tonight." As Elena and Lucas stepped off the train, Marcus found himself watching through the window as they walked up the platform. Something about their interaction had touched him in a way that his usual business dealings never did. The next evening, Marcus found himself taking the same train at the same time, though he told himself it was merely coincidence. Elena and Lucas were there again, and this time Elena recognized him immediately. "You are the kind man from yesterday," she said as they settled into nearby seats. "I wanted to thank you again for letting me sleep. I had been working since 5 in the morning and I was completely exhausted." "What kind of work do you do?" Marcus asked, genuinely curious. "I clean office buildings at night and work at a daycare during the day," Elena replied. "It is not glamorous, but it pays the bills and lets me take Lucas with me to the daycare job." Marcus looked at Lucas, who was quietly playing with a small toy car that had clearly seen better days. "That must be difficult, working 2 jobs. It
is what I have to do," Elena said simply. "Lucas's father left when he was 2, and I would rather work hard than ask for charity."
"We take care of each other." Over the next week, Marcus found himself taking the same train every evening, looking forward to the brief conversations with Elena and Lucas. He learned that Elena was trying to save money to take college courses that would qualify her for better-paying work, that Lucas was exceptionally bright, but needed tutoring help she could not afford, and that they lived in a 1-bedroom apartment in a neighborhood where the rent was cheap, but the schools were struggling. "Elena," Marcus said one evening, "I have a proposition for you, and I hope you will not think I am overstepping." Elena looked at him with curiosity mixed with caution. "My company has been looking for someone to manage our evening cleaning and maintenance operations," Marcus continued. "It would involve supervising the cleaning crews, ensuring quality standards, and coordinating with building security. The position pays significantly more than what you are making now, and it comes with full benefits including tuition assistance." Elena stared at him in disbelief. "Are you offering me a job?" "I am offering you an opportunity," Marcus replied. You have shown me that you are reliable, hardworking, and completely dedicated to taking care of your family. Those are exactly the qualities we need for this position. But you do not know anything about my work experience or qualifications, Elena protested. I know that you work 2 jobs to provide for your son, that you fall asleep on subway trains, because you are so tired but never complain about it, and that you have raised a polite, well-behaved child under difficult circumstances, Marcus said. Those qualifications matter more to me than any resume. Elena felt tears welling up in her eyes. Why would you do this for someone you barely know? Marcus was quiet for a moment before answering. Because 5 years ago, I lost my wife in a car accident. We never had children, and since then I've been so focused on building my business that I forgot what it felt like to care about other people. Meeting you and Lucas reminded me that success means nothing if you do not use it to help others. 3 months later, Elena sat in her new office at Davidson Technologies, reviewing schedules for the evening maintenance crews. Lucas was enrolled in an excellent after-school program, and Elena had started taking college courses in business management with the company's tuition assistance. How are you settling in? Marcus asked, stopping by her office at the end of the day. Better than I ever imagined possible, Elena replied. Marcus, I still cannot believe this is real sometimes. 6 months ago I was barely surviving, and now Lucas and I have a real future. Marcus smiled, looking out the window at the city where they had first met on a subway train. Elena, I need to tell you something. Taking that same train every night, getting to know you and Lucas, it was not coincidence. After that first evening, I kept hoping I would see you again. Why? Elena asked softly. Because you taught me that the most important business I could be in is the business of caring about people, Marcus replied. And because somewhere along the way, I realized that what started as wanting to help you had become needing to be part of your and Lucas's lives. Elena looked at this man who had changed their entire world with his kindness, and felt her heart flutter with something she had thought she would never experience again. Marcus, are you saying what I think you are saying? I am saying that falling asleep on my shoulder was the best thing that ever happened to both of us, Marcus replied with a smile, and I am hoping that maybe you would be willing to stay awake for dinner with me sometime, so we can talk about what comes next. Sometimes the most important connections happen not in boardrooms or at networking events, but on ordinary subway rides where exhaustion leads to trust, and trust leads to the discovery that 2 people who seem to have nothing in common actually have everything they need to build a life together.